Hi there, it's Professor Monty, and let's talk about two different types of misleading graphs. Now, the first type are what we call truncated graphs, just meaning the vertical axis doesn't start at zero. It exaggerates the differences. So suppose we have three exam scores, 95, 100, and 90. If we start this graph at 80 and go up to 100, well, there's the 95, there's the 100. The 90 is way down here, though, and it looks like this third exam score is only half the second exam score. Well, it's not half. It's going from 100 to a 90. It decreased 10%, not 50%. That's not good. A lot of times the reader isn't paying close enough attention, and they'll just look at these size differences and think, oh my gosh, what a difference. You really blew it on that exam. Well, you still got an A. If this was properly scaled, we'd start at zero, and we can see, oh, if I go from 95 to 100 to a 90, yeah, there's a little bit of difference there, but this student did extremely well on all three of these exams and are very consistent. And we can see by the height of these bars that, yes, they're very consistent. Or if you do want to show the audience that, hey, you know what, let's exaggerate these differences for effect because we want you to see the differences that there are, you would put some kind of a break in the axis to say, look, there is a break here, there's a change, I didn't start at zero. And so if the reader's a little more careful, they can see that a little bit easier and say, oh, it's not that big of a difference in change, it's not, half as much as it was from the second to the third test. They changed the scale here so that I could see that there is some difference going on. Okay, so that's a truncated graph. You don't want to truncate it unless you tell the reader it's being truncated, or ideally don't truncate at all. Start at zero for the vertical axis. Okay, the other one's called improper scaling. So it also exaggerates the differences. In this case, for instance, we say, hey, the home sales doubled. So we show a little picture of a home to make it more appealing to the reader. And it's a square, pretend that's a square, and all the sides are 1. Well, if it doubled, now it's a 2. But this looks really huge compared to this one, and in fact, it is. If I look at the area here, I can essentially put 4 of these in here. So we said that the home sales doubled, but by doing something in 2 dimensions, the area has actually quadrupled. It's 4 times as big as it was before. And when a reader looks at that, they're thinking, wow, look how much bigger it is. Now, it did double, but it should only be 2 of those boxes, not 4 of those boxes. So that's another one we want to be aware of, is improper scaling. And sometimes it's just accidental, but sometimes they do it intentionally to mislead us, especially with advertising. So be a careful consumer, be aware of things to look out for, and that'll help you go forward with your life. All right, hope that helps. I'll talk to you again soon.